What it do? This is your brother Bishop of Bishop Zone TV, and today's topic is Jack Harlow. Yeah, Jack Harlow, the white sensation, according to black women, or at least according to this sister right here that goes by the name of Sequoia B Holmes. Now, I ain't talking about no Jack Harlow because I really ain't no fan, and you know, to be honest with you, I wasn't really familiar with his music until I actually started doing this video, and I did some research and I said, okay, I can make my assessment correctly on this Jack Harlow character. But what I am gonna do is break down this video right here. Now, before I start, I am not coming off disrespectful. I am not intentionally being disrespectful to this sister. She is a sister. I do disagree with her assessment on Jack Harlow and why he's popular amongst black women. I'm not a black woman, she's a black woman, right? But I clearly think she don't speak for every black woman. And I have receipts to show why. So I want to break down this video of hers and explain why it's it's problematic, it's white validation, and it's somewhat divester language. Again, I want to be respectful as possible to this sister, to this young lady. Let's get to her video.
Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sequoia. If this is your first time clicking on a video, thank you for clicking. If this is not your first time clicking on a video, also thank you for clicking. As the title suggests, I will be talking about none other than Jack Harlow today. For those of you who might not know, Jack Harlow is a 24-year-old rapper. He is white and he is from Louisville, Kentucky. I started hearing about Jack Harlow around 2020 with the release of What's Poppin'. I would say that was his first breakthrough single. I thought he was a pretty good rapper. I was like, oh, okay, there's some raps. And then I heard Tyler Hero after that, and I was like, oh, okay, like there's more raps. I think that he's kind of doing something. There's been a lot of online discourse regarding Jack Harlow. The fandom that has found him, black women, have been openly thirsting over him on TikTok and on Twitter. He just dropped an album called Come On, the Kids Miss You. The reviews have been not the best, they just been not the best. Yeah, that's it. In this video, I won't be talking about his music so much or the quality of his music. I will be diving into the four following questions. 1, why do black women like Jack Harlow? 2, does Jack Harlow actually like black women, or is he pandering? 3, does it actually matter if Jack Harlow is pandering or not? And 4, why all of the disdain for Jack Harlow? Why all the hate? If that sounds interesting to you, please hit like and subscribe, all those things, you know, yada, yada, yada. Let's dive into it.
So right off the bat, now again, I'm not coming out trying to be disrespectful, but I'm getting a sense of, I'm looking for white validation right off the bat. You know, like she kind of, you know, gave a little smirk. You know, she smiled a little bit when she was bringing up some of the questions that are kind of in defense of Jack Harlow, and you'll see what I'm talking about later on in the video. But I just thought that was an interesting kind of thing where she was just, you know, and is he pandering to black women? Like she kind of opened it up to, well, let me tell you why he's not pandering and why he's genuine. I could be wrong. But let's see.
So why do black women like Jack Harlow? I think the thirst for Jack Harlow can be attributed to black women's desire to kind of have the lifestyle typically associated with black male rappers without being subject to the same level of anti-woman and anti-black woman abuse also typically associated with black male rappers. In a piece for Harper's Bazaar, writer Bianca Betancourt, I want to say is her name, spoke to another writer, Driadonna Ronald, and Driadonna says of Jack Harlow, when I listen to Jack Harlow, I don't feel degraded. That is one thing that I appreciate. He's just being him, and real recognize real. We know that he truly respects black women, and that gets you far too. He might even be more respectful to us than some of the black male rappers, honestly. And I think that's really it.
All right, now, sister, the first mistake you made was you quoted Miss Bianca Bentecourt. Now, I won't go too deep into Bianca Bentecourt because I really don't know the sister, to be fair. I don't know this woman. All I know is she doesn't fully identify as a black woman. She identifies as a Puerto Rican woman, and she's from Puerto Rico. That's her ancestry, of course. I don't have a problem with that. But just look at her social media. Look at the Instagram page. And you tell me if there isn't some type of bias with this article. Maybe she's speaking, or maybe she's projecting based off her own personal experiences. Because, again, I don't want to get too personal, but I just got to call it for what it is. This Miss Bianca lady, she's dating or she's married to a white man. And she has several different pictures of interracial relationships. So could it be possible that she's pushing an agenda based off her own personal preferences? Could that be possible? But if this is the woman who is speaking for majority of black women out here, sister, you gotta get a sister at least. You know what I'm talking about? And I think you know what I mean, because I've seen some of your other videos on your YouTube channel, and we know we're not monolithic people. But come on now. She's gonna speak for black women about Jack Harlow. But let's get back to this video.
It's that Jack Harlow does not make black women feel disrespected, degraded, or like we have to be subject to that type of lyrics when listening to rap music. We listen to Jack Harlow safely. It's kind of like the Drake effect. We listen to Drake safely. Drake has amassed a huge fan base of black women. We listen to him very safely. We're very loyal to him and that type of thing. Same, I think Jack Harlow, he's coming up under Drake's wing, so it appears, and I think that he's kind of taking the same approach. Focus on the women. If you focus on the women, your career is probably going to have some longevity to it. And so I think he's taking that approach.
Or maybe, just maybe, Jack Harlow is doing the same thing that rappers have done for the past 20 or even 30 years. Make music for the women. Tupac said famously, make music for the bees. I'm not going to say the itchiest word, but make music for the women. Because women buy your records. Niggas don't buy your records. Women buy your records. And that is true. Jack Harlow is no different than the black male rappers that you apparently don't feel safe listening to. And what's ironic is that Jack Harlow can make these safe space black women records, which, by the way, I'm having a hard time trying to find these safe space black women records, but I digress. And look, y'all, I've scoured the earth, and believe you me, it hurt me to listen to Jack Harlow for more than 2 songs. But I dug and couldn't find any type of references to black women specifically in any of his music. I mean, I didn't hear any Keep Your Heads Up, Common's The Light, Nas' Daughters. I didn't hear any records that uplifted black women. So for someone to get this much clout for giving black women a safe space, I'm calling cap on this. I'm calling cap. Matter of fact, I'm starting to think that this is kind of manufactured, because what I mean by that is, when you have a few black women on social media that gravitate to a certain artist, say again, Jack Harlow, people go, I never seen that before. That's different. You know what? Let's make that a story. Let's make that a trending topic. And voila, here you have black women support Jack Harlow, and the niggas are mad. When in reality, there's a demographic of black women that listen to Jack Harlow no different than they listen to any other current trending hip hop artist at the moment, which includes quote unquote toxic black male artists. Because at the end of the day, who consumes these kind of records more than anybody? it's black women. I know she's gonna mention Future, but the reality of the situation is, when you go to any club in America, any black club in America, urban hip hop or whatever, who's dancing to these toxic records more than anybody? It's black women. Black women are dancing to Future. Black women are dancing to Lil Baby. Black women are dancing to all the ratchet shit that are calling out and degrading black women. And Jack Harlow rhymes over these type of productions that are no different than any current artist that's out now. And I would say that that's probably why he's popular. It's not necessarily because he creates a safe space. How can you create a safe space and then you do records with black male artists that are somewhat toxic to black women? He has records with Chris Brown. He has records with Tory Lanez, Lil Wayne, Da Baby. And at some point in time in their careers, these were artists that a significant amount of black women were trying to cancel. Rightfully so. I'm not against that too, by the way. These male artists, these black male artists, have problematic relations with black women outside of their music. Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna. Da Baby assaulted a black woman at one of his shows. Tory Lanez is alleged of shooting Meg Thee Stallion. Lil Wayne has made all kinds of derogatory and colorist comments about black women. And Jack Harlow went out his way to do records with these black male artists. Y'all ain't got the same ether for him? Maybe it's contradiction, maybe it's hypocritical. Because, she mentioned, which I agree to an extent, that it's the Drake effect. Because he's under Drake's wing. And what I always found funny about Drake is Drake makes toxic records too about, women. And outside of his music, he was a deadbeat dad until Pusha T called him out. I'm just saying though. Let's continue.
In general, to drop an entire project not featuring one of the rap girlies feels intentional, because we are in the era of the rap girlies, particularly for Jack Harlow, who came up from features with the rap girlies like Sweetie and the City Girl. It's giving very much good enough to eat off of, but not good enough to help eat. You know what I mean? And this claim can also kind of be refuted because he's going on tour with the City Girls, or should I say he's bringing the City Girls on tour with him. And the question to that even can be, is that performative? Are you looking to make sure that black women show up to your shows? Or, do you just really want to go on tour with the City Girls? I don't know. But I will say, after listening to this album, this one that he just dropped, Come Home, the Kids Miss You, it did seem particularly devoid of mention of black women, as well as it was obviously devoid of features from black women or women as a whole, but it seemed devoid of the mention of black women in a way that I wasn't really anticipating. And I just want to take a look at the difference of context when he's mentioning black women on the album versus when he's mentioning white women on the album. Here are the lyrics he has about black women. Word to Nicki, all I got is sons, and that's on Young Harleezy. That's, a Nicki Minaj reference, a Nicki Minaj nod. Dej Loaf, introduce you to the family. Side piece, reference to Dej Loaf. She has that song where she says family, funny, family, Here are the times he mentioned white women, and see if you can pick up the difference in context. Snow bunnies for my dogs, happy Easter boys. Also from Young Harleezy. Snow bunnies is a slang term for white women. He has an entire song called Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is a white female singer. Fantastic, by the way. If you have not listened to Future and Assaulted, do that. Maybe I should pick up a hobby, probably more like Margot Robbie. That's on Side Piece, alluding to him wanting Margot Robbie. And then finally, I'm with the movie star, ooh, young Cameron Diaz. I'm with the movie star, ooh, young Angelina. So, in the two times that he mentioned black women, is kind of just like shout outs. It wasn't like, oh, I'm attracted to these women, oh, I want these women. He mentioned Nicki and Dej Loaf, just referenced bars that they've said essentially, versus Snow Bunnies for the Dogs, a whole song about wanting Dua Lipa, wanting Margot Robbie, wanting Cameron Diaz, wanting Angelina Jolie. It's just different contexts. you know? So does Jack Harlow actually like black women, or is he pandering?
Oh, she looked disappointed. She sounds disappointed. It's like, oh, he only mentioned black women as prop pieces, which, by the way, he didn't specifically say anything about black women. He just spoke about famous black female musicians that he knows in a rhyme. Whereas, like she said, he made it abundantly clear how he fantasizes off of certain white women, even so much so to the point that he dedicated a whole record to a white woman, which, by the way, I'm not mad at Jack Harlow for that. I'm not mad at you. But she seems genuinely disappointed, which, again, I'm trying to be real nice, but it just screams I'm looking for white male validation. I've seen this sister on YouTube call out Aquafina for her black scent and talk about other non-black women, using black people for whatever reason as props, or just, kind of appropriating black culture. But when it comes to Jack Harlow, Mr. White Male himself, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. See, that's, it's like, come on, sister, come on. When are black people, and I'm not talking about all black people, clearly, but I'm talking about a significant amount of our people, but when are black people gonna stop fawning and swooning over white validation? Like, why is this even a topic to begin with? First and foremost, this dude is a mediocre rapper. He's mediocre, and I say that kindly, but he's mediocre to the point that, he's really irrelevant in the landscape of rap. But because he's white and because he has a Drake cosign, he propels the heights that a black artist of his same talent level could never reach. Because if it was a black artist with the same type of talent, he would just be considered another mumble type rapper or what have you. And by the way, for Jack Harlow creating such a safe space for black females, then how come he has the same type of black women in his videos that are looked at as props and sexual objects to fawn over? I mean, look at some of his videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. These black women are placed in the background as sexual objects. Yet here we are making excuses for Jack Harlow's toxicity and his machoism behavior. Which is a really bad look, by the way, that a white man who does a black scent uses black women as sexual props and shout outs in his records. I'm just saying.
I don't know. We've also seen him try to approach Sweetie on a red carpet. Looked like he was really trying to shoot his shot at her. So there's that. We have seen him come out on his Instagram and condemn 2 police officers assaulting a black girl at his show. He explicitly said that he wants black women to understand that he wants them to be safe, and he is so sorry that happened at his show. So what I take away from that is that Jack Harlow, I don't know that he wants black women in like a physical desire type way, but I think that he has more respect for black women than a lot of black male rappers have shown us that they have. Not saying that they don't have, just saying based on what we can see, Jack Harlow is leading the pack with regard to visible displays of respect toward black women.
Oh man, the mental gymnastics that was going on in that clip. So let me get this straight. Jack Harlow is down with the Brown because he tried to holler at, what's her name, Sweetie, who, by the way, is biracial. She's not even, she doesn't even have 2 black parents. And because he did the right human thing and supported a woman who was getting harassed by the police, which, by the way, I mean, I'm not saying that Jack Harlow was disingenuous, but I mean, she was going to his show. she was going to his show, of course he's gonna call that out. And it would be a good look from an artist's perspective to call that out. Hey, we know how social media works. If you're not calling out police brutality when it pertains to your show, and this woman said your name specifically on the video, maybe you should speak out against that so you won't get any backlash and you can ascend to superstardom. Damn, I mean, god damn. I mean, are black folks, some of y'all Negroes, that easily impressed by white people just doing simple shit? Will you have to exaggerate this man's status for black women? And by the way, he's doing more for black women than black male rappers. You know how many black male rappers have done similar things when it comes to black women and police, and they still make misogynistic records and degrading records towards black women? She make it seem as though these toxic male rappers, these toxic black male rappers that she's talking about, don't have any black women in their corner. And I'm gonna just call it for what it is. It comes off as though she's holding black male rappers to a standard that she's not holding Jack Harlow to. I mean, damn, it's like, did you see Jack Harlow tie that black woman's shoe? He cares about us. He loves the kinky hair. He just loves us. But a black man, he tied one shoe. Look at this nigga. He don't even have the respect and authority for his black mama if he don't tie both shoes up. Shoelaces, nigga. Shoelaces, nigga. Come on, man. Come on, sister. And I'm not saying that, you don't have some validation with how you feel about black male rappers. I, for one, think there is a lot of toxicity with black male rappers. I think it is some degrading lyrics and some dehumanizing lyrics when it comes to black women, specifically with some of these top tier black male rappers. However, let's keep it real. A lot of black women are consuming those records. And number two, Jack Harlow is not the kind of rapper you think he is. He's just not. And we know that to be a fact because for all the claims that she makes about black women overly supportive of Jack Harlow because black male rappers are not doing what they're supposed to do, Jack Harlow just got called out for not knowing who Brandy and Ray J was. And I know that seems really shallow on the surface, but for somebody who, women like her, throw out that he's culturally conscious, he's not appropriating, but he's one of us. He's one of the good white folk. He's Mr. Charlie, good white folk. But for somebody who's that entrenched in black culture, the fact that he didn't know who Brandy was, a black woman, speaks volumes. And in a way it does speak somewhat of volumes, because how can you truly be entrenched in black culture if you don't know who is one of the biggest female singers of our childhood? Even if he's 23, Gen Z, there are plenty of Gen Z black folks who know who Brandy is. Matter if you had an older sibling or older relatives or shit, Moesha, they got reruns of that. Cinderella, was it Cinderella? I don't know, I ain't really look at that, but I know who Brandy is because she was like the young Whitney Houston of our era, of my childhood. But yeah, he didn't even know who she was, and he received some backlash from that from plenty of black women. That's important. But y'all talk about culture. Do you really know what culture is? Let's just finish this video. Shit.
So, is it pandering? Is it legitimate? It seems a little pandering, but it at least seems like he baseline respects black women in a way that we don't necessarily always see in rap. Now, does it actually matter if Jack Harlow is pandering or not? Does it actually matter what Jack Harlow's intentions are? I think his impact might actually be more important than this. Even if his intentions are murky, he's still casting black women in the forefront of his music videos. He is still going out of his way to show that he respects black women. That type of stuff will undoubtedly have a more positive impact on younger black girls who are looking to media for representation of themselves than most other things that we see.
No, this will have an impact on young black women that are looking for white men for validation. If you want to date Jack Harlow, if you got a crush on Jack Harlow's sister, just say it. But you don't have to go out your way to belittle black men and then exaggerate the things that Jack Harlow has done for individual black women. And one isn't really even fully black. We're talking about 2 or 3 things that he's done publicly that are not really addressing the plight of black women. Again, I mean, damn, he's not even John B. And even sisters back in the 90s who were fans of John B. didn't go out their way to say, well, John B. is showing more respect to black women than Babyface and After 7. I mean, shit. Again, sister, I'm trying to be respectful as possible. But this ain't cutting it. This ain't it. And I feel maybe because you're a part of Gen Z and you haven't had enough experiences with the world around you that you think this is somehow eye-opening. You think that his actions, which are only a few actions that I can count on one damn hand, will change the world. And to be fair to Jack Harlow, that's a lot to put on him. I mean, this dude, like I said, he's no different than all these other popular rappers out here. The man, she acts as if Jack Harlow raps about Harriet Tubman, Assata Shakur, Nikki Giovanni, Angela Davis, or many other great black women that have greatly benefited the black community as a whole. Black culture isn't necessarily swatty or sweaty. Black culture isn't Nicki Minaj or Dej Loaf. And yes, I know I'm very aware that he protested in March when the Breonna Taylor incident happened. I'm well aware of that. Good start. But it takes more than that to show your appreciation for black women. And sister, you coming off kind of thirsty. If you're a fan, you just say you're a fan. If you have a crush on them, just say you have a crush on them. You don't have to go out your way. You don't have to go out your way to do this. So I'm through. I'm through with this, you know. Because this right here, it's just too much of a stretch, sister. I'm sorry, it's too much of a stretch. And I'm not making this video to down you or disrespect you or anything like that. But when you start targeting black men, then I have to say something. And I'm not defending these toxic black artists too. Matter of fact, I'm the opposite of those black artists. Go check out Bishop 3RD000. I used to rap. And when I rapped, I went out my way to make positive music especially towards black women. And ironically, majority of my fans were black men. It wasn't black women. Even though the sisters was rocking with me, but the majority of my fan base were black men. Yeah. So maybe if more sisters start supporting artists who are actually uplifting black women and not those who are just, he tried to shoot a shot at Swatty as if that's the pinnacle of black culture, then maybe you will start to see more of these black men making records uplifting black women if black women, or more black women, went out their way to support those kind of artists and ban those kind of records. Maybe stop twerking to those type of records. Which one is it though? So that's all I got. That's all I got to say. Hey, I would love to have that sister on my show. Maybe at some point. You know, maybe we could discuss, maybe we could have a dialogue. But again, if Jack Harlow is going to change the world, then did he make an impact on the Buffalo shooter, the white male that killed 10 black people in Buffalo, New York? Did he make a difference on that? Or did I go too far? Yeah, I went there. Like and subscribe. And until next time, holla.